Hey everybody, Charlie King here with you, and this is our May video newsletter. And this month it made a lot of sense to me that we should dedicate this one to Seve Ballesteros. What a great player, what a great champion, and very sorry to hear of his passing. It was hard for me to even think about where that might have happened, in the past. I guess you could say Tony Lima when he had the plane crash. But just typically hasn't happened with our great champions. We've had them for a lot longer than we had Seve. But it got me thinking about Seve and what my greatest memory of Seve is. So today, when you watch this video, what I'd like for you to do in the comment section below is to list the shot or a situation or a tournament that's your greatest memory of Seve that you think kind of encapsulates him. Now for me, I got to go to the Masters in 1987 and for the first time, and when I went to that tournament, a couple of things happened. Greg Norman was at his peak as a champion. Seve was at his peak, and Seve had been leading the year before. If you remember, 1986, he was leading and he hit that shot in the water on number 15. So in 87, it was Greg Norman, it was Seve, and then this guy kind of out of nowhere, Larry Mize. So I watched Seve and Norman warm up that day, and I mean, it was watching golfing gods hit golf balls. I mean, they were hitting it great. They were hitting it long. Norman was hitting it over the fence. So they had this fence at the driving range at Augusta. He's hitting it over the fence. He got a standing ovation on the driving range before he went out to play. It was really something, and the place was electric. And so then they went out, and watching those two guys, they're kind of one group apart. And so Seve would hit a tee shot long around the corner on number 13, and then here comes Norman, and he tops it. I think Seve hit a 7-iron in that day, and I think Norman hit an 8-iron in to number 13. So they play along, and then they get to the end, and it's all tied. Seve, Norman, and Larry Mize. They got on the 10th tee, and I was standing right. So if this is the 10th tee going this way, I'm standing right over here to the left of the tee, and here's these two guys, larger than life. I mean, pretty big guys anyway, but broad shoulder, and the aura of them is just 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And here's Larry Mize. I'm telling you, you wouldn't have given him a chance. Just watching those three, looking at those three on that tee that day, it just didn't seem like Larry Mize had a chance. And so they go down, and just something that you never would have thought you'd see, Seve three-putted, number 10. And I can just remember him walking up the hill, he and his caddy, and the playoff was heading on to number 11, and that's where Mize chipped in to beat Norman. So, because I saw him in person that day, that's my greatest memory of Seve, and what a champion that he is. I mean, I certainly remember the major championships, what he did with the Ryder Cup, which I guess I wasn't a big fan of because I was pulling for the U.S. So that also got me thinking about some of the things I've always heard that Seve could do. And I wanted to show you a shot that I think comes out of it. So we're in the bunker. Seve grew up on the beach or near the beach in Spain, and so he was a master bunker player. And the story goes that he had a 3-iron, and that he practiced hitting 3-irons off the sand, full 3-irons. He practiced hitting bunker shots with his 3-iron. So I want to show you for a long bunker shot. So the lesson for this newsletter is going to be, when you have a long bunker shot, what I'm going to want you to do is I want you to go out and practice with a 9-iron. Okay, so I want you to use a 9-iron. This is the actual tip, and then I've got a kind of a tribute to Seve, aggressor's edge tip. So what we're going to do, we're just going to open the face, and you may not be able to see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm going to open the face, and just as we do in regular bunker shots, I'm going to be working on perfect divots and hitting the line. So I've got up, down, and back up. So I've got as perfect as I can get as far as the arc of my swing. And then now I hit it exactly the same, and the ball comes out, and because it's a 9-iron, you know, that non-scary swing as far as the length of the swing or how close I had to hit to the ball hits it out 25, 30 yards. So if you've never tried a 9-iron out of a bunker for your long bunker shot, that's what I want you to do. Now the tribute to Seve is that I'm going to take a 3-iron, and so Seve would take a 3-iron and he would challenge, or a 2-iron, he'd take a long iron and he would challenge other tour players. He'd say, you get a sand wedge, I'll get a 3-iron, and I'll beat you. And he would. So what Seve would do is he would open the face wide open, he'd get down lower, and he just had great touch and feel with being able to just cut that sand right out from under the ball. So I'm going to get here and take my 3-iron and hit a nice bunker shot right out of the bunker with my 3-iron. And that's another good way to hit a long bunker shot. That was nice sand and hit it out there about 25, 30 yards. And that's my tribute to Seve today, hitting 3-iron out of a bunker. So make sure you go do that at some point. Take you a 3-iron, hit you a bunker shot out with a 3-iron, and let that be our tribute to Seve Ballesteros and the great life and career that he had. Thank you a lot.